Hey, Unpaid Lunch listeners, you can find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and ad-free as a Prime member on Amazon Music. Find us on social medias and YouTube at Unpaid Lunch. On your break today, we talk about the Hall of Famer of rehires. And which one of us do you think has never been rehired? All right, time to clock out for lunch. Welcome into those. That was the best. That was the best thing that's ever happened.
I don't even know if I know what happened.
Andrew burped as soon as I started recording.
There
Andrew
ain't no
burped.
cutting this. You just got to run with it.
Welcome into Unpaid Lunch. Thanks for spending your break with us. I'm Heavy D. With me as always, Zandy P. And the only man who knows where Jimmy Hoffa is buried. Rhino. I was just thinking, like, you seem like the least connected to the mafia.
That's probably fair. I mean,
the Mactown Mafia.
well, I lived in Mayking once too, and there's signs everywhere from Mayking Mafia too, so it kind of felt a little bit weird.
So you're part of two mafias. Never mind. I'm just wrong.
I mean, even the Amish have the mafia, though.
So
Everybody's got a mafia.
cool story. Like
They had a TV
this
show
is
on
weird,
that.
but I feel like I have to talk about it now. There was a guy when I played Gears of War when it first came out on the Xbox Live launch, at, at the pinnacle of all that. There's this guy I started playing with, and if you're out there, man, I love you. I'm sorry if we upset you and made you leave and go back in the house.
Gears of War did that.
His name was AK-47 D's Nuts. So if you're out there and you hear this,
He was
like I said,
14.
No, he was a grown man.
I think he was 14 when he made that.
He was definitely a childish name. Don't kill me. Because I really think he could. So, guy moves from, I want to say it was either New Jersey or New York, moves to the Kingsport area. So, there's a reason in Kingsport, Tennessee, why they have a bar, and it's called Capone's. There's a heavy, like, underground mafia connection from Chicago and stuff.
I don't think I knew that. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. I did not.
It's
know
a very good read. Like,
Kingsport, Tennessee.
check into it sometime, but I mean, something we could probably talk about at a later time. But if someone started experiencing the heavier,
Can we get a
large,
mob boss on?
that would be awesome.
Just somebody that used to be in the mafia. There's some YouTube channels I watch where they interview people. You could find somebody.
I don't understand. I don't remember what the full story is about how they ended up there. What I'm trying to understand, I think they were trying to, that was like if you were experiencing and gathering too much heat, you disappeared. And for some reason, that was Kingsport, Tennessee. But that's like if you go there,
come there for any reason.
yeah, no one's going to come there.
Yo, it's because you can get lost on those roads so easy, on the back roads.
But it also had some type of tie to the Prohibition era. Like it was like a capture point. Like there was a very important
because
something
there's
about
like
Kingsport.
speakeasies and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy lives in Kingsport inside of a gated community. And one of my other friends started playing Gears with us, and they got a whole hell of a lot closer together than what I did because he was in the music scene. They would go down to bars and stuff. He actually met AK-47 a couple times in Kingsport.
Oh.
So we always asked him all the time, what do you do for a living? And he never had an answer. But he would always state, my family was in the paving business. I'm like, this feels like a very Sopranos thing to say. Okay. So finally,
The paving business.
in the paving business is what he would say. So Brandon, my other friend that went up there, finally one day just flat outright asked him, said, hey, you're inside this gated community. We honestly see you online at all hours of the day. You definitely have money. Can I ask you a question? Do you have mob affiliation?
That's not,
Like,
I don't
came
feel
right
like-
out. I was like, dude, that's a ballsy thing to do.
Yeah, I don't feel like I would. I don't. Maybe send them a text.
He got very quiet, reserved, left the conversation. Both of us were deleted and removed from Xbox Live. Never found the guy, never spoke to the guy ever again.
Feds.
Yeah.
That's probably what he thought. So I thought it was just a weird, like Jimmy
gonna get
Hoffa.
me.
That's too good of a story not to share. But
First message I sent is, what's your favorite Gatorade?
what?
What's your favorite Gatorade?
I don't get
Mine
that.
Glacier Freeze.
You fucking cop. Only cops know the names of Gatorades.
That's fair.
That's what my favorite Gatorade's light blue.
Light blue. Light blue.
Or purple.
But yeah. So if AK-47's out there, or, whatever rival faction
come
he's up
kill you.
against, don't come kill me. Hopefully you're still alive and thriving in Kingsport.
Did I ever tell you about the time I had a mob hit threatened on me at Sykes in
No.
training?
No.
I got a kudos call out of this. But I also had my life threatened. So, second time I worked there, because, they like to rehire people for whatever reason.
That sounds like some loaded innuendo, but I like that.
But, so this guy calls and he has a pest control service, obviously.
That's all that shit. It's
Adam-
always
Adam
trash
Jersey.
disposal.
Feels very GTA 5.
That's all of it.
He's got the accent. He's all of it. So it's this older gentleman. He had cancer and had been out of work and had came back after a couple weeks and was trying to get his payroll sorted out or whatever. I didn't know jack shit about anything, so I was just kind of just hanging out there with him. Basically.
So who's
Just
Walter
one of
White?
those-
Okay, continue.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was just kind of really just living it up, hanging out, talking to this old man for a few hours, and by the end of it, he was like, I'm confident you're going to solve my problems because I got friends that owe me favors, old friends, Italian friends, if you understand what I'm saying. So
Okay.
as he's saying this, I mute my mic and I look around at the people to me. I'm like, hey, if I don't show up tomorrow, this
guineas
is this guy's
got me.
customer information. Like they got me. I'm sorry, but yeah.
That's what you get when you fuck with people's books.
By the end of it, he was like so chill that he was like, "Hey, put your supervisor on." I was like, "All right, cool."
Nice.
And he put in a good word for me, and I quit about a month later.
I tell people no on that shit all the time.
Really?
Like I've never, like, not all the time, but anytime I ever got one, I'm like, oh man, I'll just pass the word along. It's cool. It's a lot of work for me to just do it. I don't really care. Like, I don't actually get anything out of it. Congratulations. Kudos to they
Great,
send
now they're going to expect me to do more.
yeah, they send an email out to people and it's like, kudos, Dusty got a kudos. Wow. And I was like, yeah, congratulations, I did my job.
Yeah.
I did
And it actually kind of puts a target on your back.
yeah, and it puts a target on your back. Yeah, it doesn't do you any good. I was like, give me a $25 gift card or something.
No.
So Andrew got us into a good segue, and we segue and we applause him. I used it last week when you were out. Did you hear?
I did.
You proud of us?
I was very
It
proud.
It was not. I did it on my own. Nobody flagged
As
it.
you were saying Ryan would be proud, I was slow clapping myself. I was very
It
proud.
worked out good. So you had something go on this week, right?
So, sorry, clear my throat here. So, what was very interesting this week is we're starting to see like more classes being operated on site. So, I look up at one juncture and I see one of my previous colleagues that sat right next to me on my first team. This is like her second or third time employed here. I was like, "Oh, dude, you're back." She's like, "Yeah, I'm back, but there's plenty of us in this class. There's plenty of rehires." And I was like,
Oh, I know who that one is too, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Bex. But then I look up and I see our near and dear friend Zachy walking across the floor. And I just look at it. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Well, later on, I start walking out with my boss goes on smoke break and I go walk with her and we just kind of talk about the things that's grinding our gears for the day. And I look out the door and me and him just make eye contact. And I just start shaking my head and he lets out like his huge like jackal laugh. And I was like, dude, why? I was like, what is this, like time 4 or 5? He lets it drop on me that it is his 10th time being employed through this company.
So
10th time.
Man, that is savage.
yeah, it feels like. I mean, I've worked there 3 times.
Well, the thing is, like, you talk about people like chasing stats all the time, like the LeBron Jameses of the world, and huge stat, you know. But then you have the guys that go after the rings. Like this dude, Zach, you're the Michael Jordan
It's the Michael
of
Jordan.
quitting and getting
he-
rehired by the
So
same
he left.
company.
We have a recording, right? He
We
said-
do. So kind of asked him some questions on it. I was wanting to try to get inside of his brain to see exactly what the psychology of the rehire looks like. Like what drives you to leave? What drives you to come back? What I was not expecting is instead of him answering my questions via text, he just sends me a very thorough, well thought out message with about a 4-minute audio track.
Which worked out well because we can't show our listeners the
Exactly.
text.
I mean, I wasn't going to read the whole damn thing. Like,
No,
it was going to be paraphrased. So, Zach, thank you for helping us out with that. And I think there's no greater segue than.
So we're going to play that, and then we'll see you on the other side.
Woo-woo.
Ugh. I don't know what that was. I burped it together.
All right, so yeah, it's my 10th time here. So every time I've left, it's been mostly for similar reasons. You know, like the first time around, I was in high school. You know, like an environment like sex is toxic to a grown person, let alone like a 16-year-old kid. So that's why I left then. And then outside of that, the next stint was just, I don't know, man. You get tired of getting yelled at all the time. You get tired of like making shit. You know, like because you get people who work the same jobs that we do at sex in these other areas. You know, like Sane's a great example. Like I was getting paid. I don't even think I was getting paid $15 an hour when I was working for Sane. While Sane at the time were paying their actual employees $20 an hour. You know, like I think sex is a great example of like what happens in this area. You get these companies and these people from outside the area come in and they take advantage of the quality of life and the poverty in this area. And that's a place like what sex does. You know, most of the time they say you care, they say they care, and you get a lot of people in there who probably do on an individual level, they probably do care, but they still have rules to follow. If they want to keep their job, they want to keep money coming in, like it's just how it is. So almost every time I've quit, it's been due to something like that. I come back 6 months doing it, getting yelled at, screamed at, not really getting, shown any kind of appreciation, saying, hey, your family, but that therapy appointment that's really important to you, like, you can go on it, but we're going to point you, and then after you get so many points, we're just going to stay on your back. So ultimately, like, I'm a prime example of the type of place, call center like and whatever it is now is in this area. Because think about it, they've hired me 10 times they have been willing to hire me knowing that I'm probably going to quit at a certain period of time. They just want my labor right there. They want that cheap labor. They're probably making $5, $6, $7, $8 off of me on every hour for what they're getting paid, or maybe not, I don't know. But you get what I'm saying. So most of the time I leave, it's because of that. Like, that eventually you just mentally snap. Yeah. And then I gave notice a few times. The last time I gave notice was when I was doing the embedder stuff, and that was only mainly because lockdown was happening. They were already, the pandemic was hitting. They were sending everybody home. I was like the last person on my side of the building. So I gave a 2 weeks notice and just chilled inside the building and didn't do anything. Like, to be completely honest with you. I honestly probably wouldn't use my name. I think they consider that wage theft. But yeah, anyways. So, and then there's been a couple times where it's like, okay, maybe I should put my notice in and that way I can come back, but it doesn't really matter. They still will hire me back. And honestly, if I quit now, give it another year, they'd probably hire me back again. Like, it's just how it is. And until places like that change, it's just what's going to keep happening. I'm lucky enough, I can do what I do and quit the places I quit because, I'm not tied down. I don't have family up until recently, the last few years, I didn't have like car payments or anything like a lot of other people were dealing with. So I could get by on very little. I've been in survival mode my whole life. So like when I feel like something unjust is going on, or I feel like something's finally broke me in the workplace, I have the option to walk away from that and, do something else. I've always made it in some form or way. Even though it's getting harder to as the years go on. And other people don't. And that's another thing. They know that and they take advantage of that. Because, you wouldn't believe how many times, like, someone's eyes get real big when I call them out on why I'm leaving. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Welcome back in, Unpaid Lunch listeners. So that was
Old Zachy.
That was old Zachy Poo.
Let's not love
going off about a little bit of it, but we're gonna jump into that and talk about that shit because that was pretty intense.
So right off the bat, 10 times being employed by one place. I know people that's not worked 10 jobs in their life.
This is Ric Flair speech.
He's carried this one job 10 separate times. The exact same employer.
10 times. Same job, too, probably. Well, I guess he was doing...
slight deviations from, focus area from what he's working on, but I'm impressed. Like, I'm so impressed.
I think it's probably, noted Like he's on a list of like going back to the same job that many times. Like I don't think you get to do that.
Well, at the same time, you probably don't get to do that unless you're at least kind of decent at your job, kind of competent. So I mean, that's speaks well for him in that regard.
Yeah.
I'd like to know how much he missed. Like if he got to go back because his attendance and stuff was not bad.
Speaking with him directly in the past, I know there's been times where his points got a little out of control. I know there's been times where he was asked to do, certain functions of the job that he didn't agree with, like sales angles and things like that, that he was just, all right, this is stupid. Like, I'm not getting paid nearly enough for this. I'm gone.
He also admittingly is very anxious. Has anxiety.
He is the epitome of anxious.
Yeah.
I know he's going to listen to this, and he knows 100%. Yeah. Literally just want to bring him on for an episode just where he talks about his anxiousness at work. But he really disproves a lot of our, cultural norms that we have tied in that we've kind of tried to disprove in previous episodes. And we talk about all the time about how, dude, just don't do the 2 weeks notice. Don't do it.
Yeah, because
hasn't, and he still keeps coming back. So they're out there right off the bat.
I definitely think places like that, I always feel like it just doesn't like, what good does it do you? Like to do the notice is like, again, it's the same thing. We've done a whole episode on it, right? That you don't get the quality work out of people with the 2 weeks, right? And they're knowing the whole time that you're going to be gone. So it seems like, I don't know, the whole thing's dumb. And obviously it doesn't matter, right? Because he rarely gave the 2 weeks notice. He said, right? I think he said he gave it a couple times.
There's people that's literally that's not given the notice, been placed on literally a flagship that basically says they're non-rehirable.
Yeah.
And then 6 months later, I'm looking around square in the face. Right. So it all depends on how desperate you are at that current place and time for an employee.
Right. Turnover rate and all that.
Turnover rate. What does it mean for your current ramp plans and staffing needs and things like that?
What's interesting is like, and I know you're like this too, Andrew. I know you have those situations where it's like, I'm kind of loose about my job because I know that I have. So for me, it's a security blanket that I know I can go back there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I know that like if shit hits the fan and everything is bad and I can't work anywhere else, they will hire me back. And I can go, and I even gave a notice. I don't know why I did that, but I did.
It's like one of my worst habits is like, I know how employable I am.
Yeah.
So I'm like, one side of bullshit. And I'm, fuck you guys. I'll find somebody else.
Go.
Somebody else will hire me.
Well, because I know at least 3 places you could go back.
I'm starting to say I have the record to show. Like I've been rehired.
That last times. One though.
Yeah, I'm not going back to fucking Walmart. Walmart.
This motherfucker.
Walmart. If anybody's confused about where I'm not going back,
Denver Broncos.
Oh God.
Walmart.
So, like, you brought up a very good, interesting point right there.
We didn't talk about it at all before. Didn't say the name at all.
What, Walmart?
Walmart. Let's get that tag. Jeez.
So, you kind of spoke to the employee side of the comfort of returning. That's why I love, like, the whole entire psychology of all this. It's just weird. So, yes, we're like wounded animals. You wound an animal and it gets away from trouble. Where's it going? It's going back to what it knows.
Oh,
yeah.
It's going back to familiar territory, but also, you got to think about it from the employer scope. I've been in management quite a bit. There's been multiple times where I'm like, okay, I can venture out into the unknown,
sure,
and take something new, or I can welcome back something that yes may have had some issues in the past, or et cetera, but it's the devil that I know.
So is that hiring process? Who has that say? Like, how high does that go on? Like, if you're going to rehire, like. For Zach, for example, if you were going to rehire him, like who would you know what I mean? Like how does
different
how far
businesses
does that
are going to operate in different fashions.
Well,
so some's going to have gatekeeping right at the front, like we talked about in the previous episodes, where I functionally, air quotation marks, didn't give Walmart a 2 weeks notice.
Right.
I didn't even get to a point in an interview because as soon as I go and submit my application, ding, I'm flagged. So it's like a gatekeep system that kind of keeps me out. Now, let's say you go to a different system where it's a little more arbitrary.
I just wonder where
open.
It doesn't matter. Like at what level does it not matter about not giving notice?
It depends on. So recruiting is going to give a number that they have to hit.
Yeah.
So naturally, they're going to pull as many numbers as they can to determine what they need to hit, and then at that point, you can start combing through that. Then at that level, I think it becomes like senior leadership. It's like, oh, well, all right, we need 20 spots, but there's 24 here.
Yeah.
All right, let's find the best 20. Oh, well, this one's flagged. They've been here like 8 times, but I like the kid.
Yeah, right. That's what
When
I'm
he's
wondering.
here, he doesn't cause trouble.
Like, is it a reflection of who he is when he gets hired?
I think it's definitely. I mean, Zach is one of the most personable people I've ever met in my life. Like,
Yeah,
you just walk in
absolutely.
and he just soothes you in the comfort, like being around him.
I think it says a lot too about somebody that's willing to go back to one of those places, especially knowing what they face. You know, like especially like he talked about, getting talked like fucking garbage. Like somebody that's willing to be like, all right, look,
boys,
you got another fucking chance. Treat me right.
Yeah, absolutely. Right,
I'll be sweet.
You know what it's
and if it don't work, you've got 8 more, motherfucker.
Maybe that Offspring song is about that. You know what I'm talking about? That's what it feels like because they're giving you money, like because that's what talks, right? Because like this particular place is probably one of the better paying jobs you can get without an education.
Absolutely.
Well, so he actually sends me another video later. That's not as part of that video or the audio package that we put together. And in that 11-second audio snippet, he basically states, this type of work, which in theory we're talking about call centers, is basically replaced the coal mining industry of our area.
Oh, that's true.
Basically, it's like, previously, in our upbringing, our, early years of our life, and obviously decades prior to that, coal mining was the big driving factor in this area. Now, go out and find somebody that's not worked at a call center.
Oh, yeah.
You can't.
Everybody.
Oh, no.
You really can't.
Everybody's, yeah.
So go find someone that's not worked at a call center or at a Children's gas station.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, that's so for me.
You're not going to.
That's funny because that hits it too, right?
Oh, yeah.
That hits us too. Is that was one of my rehires is double quick.
Yeah.
Like for me, that's a comfort. Like I think I could be an assistant manager at any double quick. I think a gas station within a 50-mile radius, I think I could be a walk-in assistant manager.
But that kind of relates back to the comfort. Like I
Yeah,
come
that's
from I'm 6 years removed now from GameStop.
I could just pop into
and I
retail.
swear to
yeah.
God, you could pop me back in that retail environment and I would thrive.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
would thrive off. But it's the devil that I know.
I'll give you $100,000 a year to go be the GameStop manager.
Like if I was given that type of money, I would go.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know, bro.
but it's weird too because you have people that obviously like Zach is not, as he states towards the back in the video, I have liberties allowed to me that does not necessarily nail me down to a position. Whereas, like, I've always been job scared to leave. I don't like change. Like, I just recently went through an interview process and everything. We'll talk about some depression. We can save that for another episode. But went through that whole entire process and, like, like it's laughable. I wish you guys could have seen it. I probably sat and looked at the submit button for my application with my thumb on the mouse for probably 20 minutes. Yeah. And finally went,
everything.
Pop, and just finally hit the button. So there's a part of what he says in like the psychology of that piece where it's like, I'm free. He's almost like a damn gypsy. Mm-hmm. And I love that. Like a nomad. Like I can go anywhere I want to, work anywhere I want to, have no cultural ties, no obligations, nothing tied to hold me down.
Yeah.
I'm kind of jealous, like, from that perspective of being mentally free to be able to leave a workplace. Because it's hard.
It depends on, like, what priorities and stuff, too. Because, like, you got a lot more resting on it than just, like, just your mental well-being.
Yeah, but I'm not, like, just me, like, taking away my, like, the family aspect of it. Just, like, the mental aspect of it.
Yeah, if we were
I'm invested, like, in my work, and that's what's weird for me to separate from.
Yeah, well, that's who you are, though, right?
And I hate it.
Yeah,
I hate that with every fabric of my being.
Well, I think that's what makes this work so good is the levels of, like, that's who you are. And then me and Andrew are, like, different levels of...
I'm on the complete opposite end of the spectrum.
You're on the opposite end, and I feel like I'm kind of in the middle, right?
But in a different way, though, because
Yeah.
like, I completely invest myself in my work, but I could care less if that work is, retail management or washing dishes in a fucking kitchen.
Well,
man.
and
Like,
also-
I'm going to do it 100% either way, and I'm going to find that fulfillment.
Yeah.
So,
And if your shit was shitty enough tomorrow, you'd just quit.
yeah.
Like, if your shit was shitty enough, you're just like, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, there's definitely a line.
Yeah. And I feel like...
See, I don't have that line.
I know, and I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle that's just like, I know, I need the job, but I will quit. Like if I win $150 on a lottery ticket.
That one good day.
$150.
If I just watched Office Space, right, and I win okay, if I $500. If I've just watched Office Space and I won $500 on a scratch off, I might quit. I'm definitely gonna call in.
Well, it's gonna be like close to like a paycheck level, right? Because then that gives you a little bit of time to think. You got a month to just be like.
It's funny because like every job I've ever had, and and this is to the place we're talking about getting rehired at. One of the things that's always to me is like, who is the manager at this time?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm going to go back, I'm like, am I going to be able to work for this person? And they're like, yeah, if you come back, you can probably work for me. And I was like, I could work for you.
So you had Nathaniel on. He's the
know.
literal only
No.
reason I came back.
Yeah,
this
he
is
would
the third time I worked
cherry
there. And it was
picked you,
just
yeah.
because I was like, hey, there's Nathaniel.
Yeah.
But there's like a recruitment aspect to that portion. But then also on the employer side, like we're talking about like, hey, if you have this, you guys were like talking about money a moment ago. And it's something we kind of talked about prior to the episode that I hadn't really thought about. And I'm glad you guys brought it up. Is the investment of the company that they've already put into you.
Oh, yeah.
You got to think, how many times has Zach been through fucking training? Like, he could probably teach the damn class at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, and the trainers will lean on that too.
Yeah, they will lean on that. But the thing is, too, is now as an employer, you're like, he's been through this so many times. There's not a real upkeep issue with him.
Yeah.
So he comes in, he's already got the training portion down.
Well, security's
The less
two
investment.
ways, right? Security's two ways, right? For him, it's a security blanket. The job he's going to is a security blanket because he's going to be comfortable there. And from the company's perspective, it's a security blanket because this boy can do the job. It's confirmed that he can do the job. If he misses X amount of days and costs us Y amount of attendance, he's still worth Z,
Yeah.
which is better than somebody who is a rookie.
There's an amount
and
of productivity return on that. There's a return on investment.
and he probably has an average time that he's worked there, right? He's probably worked there like a year average. And they're like, is it worth training this guy? And him
we
working
know
here a
we're
year?
getting this much time out of him.
Well, a year is
It
more
equates
than
to X amount of dollars.
is a year more than they get most of people in training classes
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
a year is a lot more than they get out of most people.
It's
Because,
longer than I've worked there either time.
well, I guess my class was done 4 years and everybody was gone from
Yeah.
my class.
So, of my original class, I think I'm the original. I'm the only one left.
You're the only
now
one
from
left for sure.
From wave 11 that we caught it. I think I'm one of the original ones
fucking-
left.
So
You
long.
got that on a patch on the Letterman jacket.
I need it. I really need it really bad.
You should get you guys should have like Letterman jackets with like the 11th. You should just steal Valor. You guys should have stolen Valor jackets, like 11th entry.
Well, we were talking about this at work the other day. We were talking to a couple of the older people that's been there for a long amount of time.
Yeah, there's a couple that've been there, and you know
Since
what's
the door's open.
And you know what's cool about those people is they're usually like floor level people. Like they
yeah.
work, they do their job and they go home. They don't do anything
Two
more.
of them that I can think of right off the now are still tier one front.
And that's
front
how
word
they
customer
like
face.
it. And
Yeah,
I have
they don't want
I've discovered after working in the call center world for a while that really probably is the way to do it.
Oh yeah,
Right. Because your job is because I say all the time that my job is dumb. Right. And what I mean is I don't have to put a lot of effort into knowing how to do my job because it's pretty simple.
It's monotonous, but
And most call center
It's
jobs
laid out
are,
on rails
right?
for you.
Even working with one of the most complicated products, the worst products ever made, ever
yeah.
at where we worked. That was still here's how you do it because somebody else has already put the work into how you do stuff. So here's how you do
layers
it.
of articles,
Yeah.
layer of
And there's a way to just fix it, and it's
help
not that
network
hard.
build in.
Right, and all the work's
agree.
like that. So going home or going to work, doing your job, going home, not fucking with employees, not fucking with bringing your lunch every day. You don't have to deal with it. That routine, I get it, and that's a next level of comfort, right? And that's I'd like to have somebody on who's that level of.
So
20 years.
100%, like I told you, it took me 20 minutes to hit the button.
I rambled.
Oh, that's fine. No, that's great insight. So it took me forever to hit that button, right? But everything that you just outlined is what I was yearning for. I love my team that I manage right now. I love every one of them dearly. They're like my children. But the idea and the concept of going to a new place, making more money, and only having to worry about Ryan.
Yeah.
was fantastic. Like, I only have to worry about me. I'm only accountable for me. I'm not accountable for all these other people's attendance, et cetera, driving whatever, emotions and things that are tied to the job. I had to drag myself out of bed. It was a work at home job. So I get to wake up at 8:55 probably, walk to the living room, get on my computer, boom, start work, and not have to worry about anything else.
Man, so what I think is funny is I don't know that you would thrive in that.
I don't know.
Because, like, I think I've seen you interact with your employees, right? And I don't get it, but they love you. and like, I think you thrive in that, like, delegating and directing people to do things without pissing them off. You know what I mean? Like, I think you do really well. Like,
it's weird. I do enjoy it.
I know you do, and you're good at it, right? So you can be good at things you hate to do, and you can be good at things you don't know you love to do, right? And maybe you don't know that you love to do that. I mean, you know you love to do it, but maybe you don't know how much you would not like to do something else.
So there's a layer of knowing whether or not you love to do it. Then there's
dropped.
also another layer of feeling appreciated while doing it.
Yeah, sure. Well, nobody appreciates you.
No, I mean, I'm not saying that. That's obviously not a knock to my people.
No, but...
And I've had leaders and stuff, but it's like...
Well, that's the biggest knock to that whole job, to that whole place, right? Is that nobody appreciates you for...
I mean, it's just... how many people actually honestly know what I do? That's
how many
what
people
I
know you exist?
I mean, I'm loud, so quite a few.
Okay,
but, like, my biggest thing is, like, right now, if I was to cold turkey, boom, I'm gone. Who knows what I do and how long does it take to make my team operational again? That was the biggest part that I had a problem with applying for a new job. And, like, that's why with Zach, like, I 100% honestly admire that, because he does not, like you said, these people that have been here forever just stay in the status quo front level job. They don't have to worry about that. That's not the added stress of the additional, commitment to the role. Whereas when I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, and that was the part that I really struggled with, because I got pretty far in this interview process. And all of a sudden, my direct leader, who I love dearly, she's like, how do I replace you? What's next? Do you have anybody developed for this? I'm like, no, it came out of nowhere. So obviously I've not been grooming anybody to overtake and take my role.
Which is also, I mean, I know it's a whole nother thing, but like, it's not your responsibility.
Well,
I know it's a courteous to courteous to your boss because you like your boss, but it's a courtesy to them. But like, I'm pretty sure Aaron Rodgers said that.
Yeah.
That it's not his fucking job.
Well, Brett Favre said it before Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it's not his fucking job.
It's just
right?
it's
to train
natural
your
progression,
replacement.
but it's like
It's an awkward fucking thing to do. Too.
It's awkward, right? That's
so
why I
there's
think I
that.
noticed
But
a boss
it's
has
also
noticed it's weird.
there's this once again double-edged stigmas. People's like, oh, you hear it all the time. You can't be worried about that. You want to develop people and build them out. You can't be job scared, afraid that you're going to train your replacement. You say that, and then one day someone replaces you with that person.
Yeah.
Like there's a smoke screen there. It's like, oh, you can't worry about that. It shows your development. You can take the next step. Well, what if I don't want to take the fucking next step?
Yeah. What if I'm content?
That's the way I am right now with my position and where I'm working. Like, I would love to be able to make more money because it's expensive as fuck to live right now.
Well, the problem with the ladder is there's a top of it.
Well, there's that, but also I know I don't want to go any further. Like, I watch my manager on a day-by-day basis. I'm managing 25, not 250, 300, 400.
Which kind of puts you in the spot, too, of being like, well,
I've hit my cap.
I like what I do, but
I don't want that.
I don't want to do what you do.
So for me to want that, for me to want more money, I have to embrace that.
Yeah.
And then at that point, like, I've always been notorious for having horrible home work-life balance. Horrible. Just now starting to get good at it. If I go up another click and take on another 350 people, that's down the shitter.
She might leave you.
Oh, yeah. Like, my wife has always worked those jobs, and I envy her for this, where it's like, I go in, I clock in, I do my shit, I clock out, I go home. And until you've really kind of walked, a mile in someone's footsteps in a management role, it doesn't always work that way. There is no such thing as a 9 to 5 responsibility.
I've done things. I know this is off the rehire topic, but like,
I think
I've done things like
full circle.
Worked places where I was too invested, and I wasn't even like owning my shop, like owning your own business is like an investment like that goes unspoken, that how much you have to be invested. You know what I mean? Like, you're taking your work home with you because your home is your work.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like when I was at home, it was like figuring out how to do this and figuring out how to do this. And, figuring out how to do that, and you're going into work the next day with the same thing. So like, and then I've also worked for people who I was really close with, and who I loved, who was like family. And so like I was invested in everything they did, because if they were successful, then I was successful. And, so like I was invested in that. And that's just a lot more exhausting than like just going to work.
Yeah, fuck it.
Only certain people can shoulder that type of emotional connection too. Yeah. Like if you're emotionally distant, that's going to drain you to the point.
I've never been able to fucking do that though.
So that's why, like, I was immediately like, my hand was going towards you. So it's like if you had to go through that layer, how long does it take before you're burnt out and your cup is empty?
Oh no, man! When I was like supervising, I was super invested in everybody. Like I tried to be.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, man, like once that time clock hit, didn't matter.
It's tough.
See, I'm different. Like I've had people message me at 2-3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
and I feel like I'm committed. I want to be committed. I want to be there for that.
Well, that's good, because that's somebody needs that guy.
Well, yeah, but
I mean, look, when I was managing the gas station, I was like that too. Fucking 2 a.m, like person didn't show up, I gotta go to work, which was the worst. Of course, assistant manager is just bitch. Actually, if at a gas station, assistant manager is just bitch.
No, you're dedicated fall guy.
Yeah.
You're a dedicated fall guy.
Because the manager is like doesn't have to do anything if they choose an assistant man. If they have an assistant manager.
I was gonna say you're catching shit for all the employees and management.
Yeah, you're right in the middle catching it. Yeah,
catching everything.
They want you just good enough to where the store will run and prosper, but not good enough that if one becomes vacant, you assume that position. Because then they have to go back into building out you again.
Yeah, like I said, that's another job that I could go back to, and that would be the rehire that I'd be comfortable. Like I could run any register in the country.
How many times has Zach worked at Cavalier Comic now?
He works at Cav. He still works at Cav though. I think
that's what I'm saying. Like, is this considered separate stints? Like,
No,
has
I
he
don't
left
know,
and came back, or is he just like an ongoing 10-year?
Well, I think the way Brian does it is he had just people. He has a bunch of different people that work for him, and whenever they're available, they'll work for him.
Shout out Ronnie.
Yeah, a lot of those dudes are all working. I don't know who he's going to have now, because I guess they're all working. Like Tanner, obviously, doing it a long time, and then
they'll still pick up weekend shifts.
Yeah, Zach will be there on Fridays sometimes.
Yeah,
he worked at Sykes last year. Did the same thing.
He's done that multiple times. Like even me and Brian's talked about it before. It's like he's like, well, I'm gonna have somebody run the shop this Friday night. Zach's back at Sykes again. Yeah. I'm like, well, how long?
just ask him. He'll come back.
And Zach, I know Zach's listening. There's no disrespect to Zach. But one thing that I learned from listening to this excerpt from him, he values and knows what his self-worth is. Mm-hmm. And I am so envious of that. He's like, this is where my value is. This is where I draw the line. And if you don't meet my needs, I will be LeBron and take my freaking talents to South Beach and say, fuck it.
Well, because there's definitely like remote jobs. Like if you apply and you want to work from home on a computer, they're
everywhere
many.
right now.
They're everywhere, and you can do all of them. And the
industry's evolving constantly too.
And they'll hire anybody, and for decent money. Like they're pretty good, but like again, it's not as comfortable, because like if I'm going to get hired on for like Apple, I don't know how to do any of that shit. I would rather
in a padded room than a work from home.
Yeah, you would not thrive. You know where you thrive? In a ditch.
Did you just say in a dick? In a dick. You're thriving a dick.
Well, that too.
Subliminal thoughts.
I can't get my mind off the phallus.
But with that being said, like I thought it was just an interesting insight, because once I saw him, I was like, this is something I need. At first, it's like, oh, he's back again. But the more I thought about it from the podcast perspective, I was like, God, we need this story. Like I want to understand how it works, like what's going on underneath the hood and everything here. But
and we're gonna have Zach on too.
Absolutely.
We'll have him on in the future for
at any point.
Who cares?
If we have an Unpaid Lunch Hall of Fame, he's got to be the inaugural member.
Yeah.
Because no one quits their job better than
him, right?
More efficiently.
And he's pretty good.
Man, I'm up there.
You're up there.
10 at one place, though, man.
That's a whole new layer of commitment.
I'm impressed.
I'm going on 2 years at my current job, so that's about over.
It's my third time working at my current job, so I'm due for.
How many do you have that's multiple stints? Both of y'all. Before we close,
I think me consult the old notes here because I was thinking about this earlier.
I rehired the gas station twice. Sykes twice. Where else? I think just the gas station twice and Sykes twice is all I've had. Maybe Sykes 3 times because I worked there early on. I worked there like right after high school or whatever. 07 or 08 or some
I
shit.
was at Sykes twice.
Yeah.
At the water company where I'm at right now 3 times. Walmart, fuck them, 3 times.
Walmart, fuck 'em.
I worked at a restaurant a few times. I did that while I was.
Oh, they're not there anymore.
Yeah, they closed down.
Yeah.
That sucks. Rip Heritage Kitchen.
Hey,
I had a quesadilla on their menu for years.
All their
chicken bacon
food,
ranch quesadilla.
all the food was Andrew's
Your
creation.
creation.
Yeah, this is a bunch of shit like the cheeseburger with the cheeseburger with the skirt. Yeah. That was you.
Oh, they were doing that before I came
Oh, really?
in.
You just showed them how to do it better, though.
Yeah, I was just doing it a lot.
I have no rehires.
I did put bacon in it.
None.
Really?
None.
Can't stop.
No.
Mountain Video.
No. Double quick, left.
Hey,
Went to Mountain Video.
raise your hand if you're surprised. Nope. No hands raised.
Nope. No, I mean,
That's impressive, though. That's
no rehire.
what we got. Is this the butt? Yeah.
none.
Just get a couple claps.
Almost Walmart,
Oh, yeah.
but that flag knocked me out of it. But outside that,
We
I've
should count that
interviewed
one.
at Lowe's in person like 5 times. so much. I actually got the job once without interviewing, so that was cool.
We're gonna do an episode. I know we're gonna do an episode on times we should have sued. We're gonna write that down because that Lowe's one was on there during COVID.
Right during COVID.
You got
literally,
COVID.
we just talked about like 3 during break a while ago. So
Yeah.
I think that is an episode.
Yeah, he got it COVID during the interview process.
No. Save it.
Gotta save the content.
Well, I guess that's the end of today's episode.
So y'all, it was that's fun. We always have a good time when it's just us 3. We always get to hit some topics we don't get to when we got somebody on here that we're talking over top of.
Yelling.
Just,
Not allowing them to speak.
It's fine. Everybody knows it comes on the show that we're gonna be doing that anyway. You all check out the Instagram and the TikTok. We put a lot of stuff up on there that you don't see anywhere else on Instagram, and then Patreon as well. You can check out. There's a lot of exclusive content on there, and there's some like a lot of unreleased episodes and stuff go up on there. So you can check that out. Unpaid Lunch at Patreon. That's all it is, right? Unpaid Lunch, and then Unpaid Lunch on Instagram, and then Unpaid Lunch podcast. I think at TikTok, right? Mm-hmm. So you can check all that stuff out. Again, not on Facebook because fuck Mark Zuckerberg. Just for old people in pants. I'm gonna say it every time.
Lizard person.
That's my favorite. You guys got anything else?
Nope. I'm solid.
Well, you guys keep going back to the same jobs over and over. Don't give notices. And just remember, there ain't nobody stopping you from quitting your job.
Quit like Zach.
But you quit like Zach. We should get quit like Zach trending.
Yeah.
I like that.
Hashtag quit like Zach.
Hashtag quit like Zach.